Our journey didn't start today. It actually began several years ago. I will let you tell the room how our paths first crossed.
So I think it's 10 years ago. I had to go back in the memory bank. But we've had a really nice history, and we were both on the same mission, really in hot pursuit of data at the time. And at that time, there weren't a lot of, if any, other brands offering what Contentsquare was providing in your suite. So, yeah.
And we were in New York, if I remember
And
correctly.
we did. Yes, we met in
Yeah.
New York.
All right. I think the room would like to go to the real stuff. So let's start about data. We love so much data at Contentsquare. So maybe before anything else, let's take a moment to look at Pandora number because they will tell a remarkable story. Happy to have your perspective about it.
Yeah, so, Pandora is really a success story. I think the numbers speak volumes. 39,000 employees globally. We had a tremendous year last year, despite all of the headwinds that every single one in this room faced together. 6% organic growth, quite respectable. And something that I'm actually really proud of is our diverse teams. So, we're really bridging the gap on gender parity. And our sustainability initiatives are quite remarkable. 100% recycled gold and silver in our product offering. So all things to be really proud of as a brand, as an organization.
And we are lucky to have you, Nicole, because for the ones that didn't know, Nicole is a rock star of data, tech, digital, in-store experience. You have worked at amazing brands like LVMH, Bottega Veneta, Mulberry, Sam Edelman, when we started to meet each other, G-Star, Nespresso, and now Pandora. And anytime you are going to a new brand, you need to start a new approach, a new category, new market. Think more times than most of the leaders in this room dare to. How do you approach it? How does each one make the next easier or harder?
So, first of all, what an absolute privilege to have had an inside seat in some of these amazing brands. So I'm honored and quite humbled, to be honest. Um, I think, what does get easier over time is just like anything else, experience. You learn the ropes, you know what to do, you know what not to do. But every market is really different. Every culture, every organization. I think it's about figuring out what is that bespoke, very curated strategy that can then be applied for success. So it is different every single time. Some things get easier, but some things are always going to be a challenge. And quite frankly, that's the fun, right?
Important to always adapt. I agree with you. For the audience, maybe to give also some additional perspective, Pandora has been a Contentsquare customer for many years now. So you have been in the room this morning. And maybe it will be great, Nicole, to share what creates most excitement on the announcement we have done today.
So many exciting things today, but two things stand out for me. Number one, prediction. I think that was really loud and clear this morning in your presentation, because that's really taking things to another level, right? So it's one thing to optimize, to take key insights and apply those insights. But when you're really looking at a predictive space, it's a game changer. So that's different. The other thing for me that stood out is this continuation of the democratization of data, right? How do you take something that's really complex and becoming even more complex over time and simplify that so it can be a real value add, quite frankly, inside of the organization? So those are my two big standouts.
And since we started Contentsquare, we were always obsessed by this approach of data democratization, because if everyone can really use the technology, it's game changer in terms of performance and productivity. Speaking about the usage of technology, Pandora has been one of the first customer using our new AI agent. We have done some workshop with your team recently. Happy also to have your point of view regarding what's the first impact, or they use it, even if you could be maybe far away on the day-to-day usage.
Yeah, I think that, the impact is really first and foremost the partnership that we have together. Because to your point, we're all busy, there's a lot of things to do. Having the time to really dig into the data and make it work for you isn't always something that organizations have the teams or the bandwidth to actually do. So we appreciate the partnership that we have whenever we need to leverage you, the team, to help us drive those insights to the next level.
And speaking about insight, I think one of the important strategic topic when we build this AI strategy together is to be sure that all the data will be available through MCP on your entire ecosystem. For example, with Cloud, where you have the data of Contentsquare and Jira all together. So now you can just ask a question, and in Cloud you have the answer. Does it change the way your team is starting to work?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, first of all, speed and convenience, it's the same thing that we're trying to offer to our consumers, right? However, being able to do that in real time and impact the business on the daily basis is a real game changer. So, for sure, this impacts ways of working. It actually makes us more efficient.
And Contentsquare is not the only one agent you are leveraging. I understand that you are developing also internally some specific agent. One is named Gemma for product recommendation and discovery. One is named Clara, that is more for support. What do you hope that will unlock for your team, this new AI agent internally?
Again, I think it's about services and how can we really get to root causes of problems or circumstances or sentiment. How are we going to solve problems and get to the point of that quickly? So through agents, we're on this journey. It's a new journey for us, relatively. I think it's quite new for many, but excited to see what comes to fruition for sure.
For sure. And look, you've heard about some data points this morning regarding the benchmark approach. I would love to have your perspective based on billion of digital session. And let's start maybe with the big picture. Traffic across the industry fell last year by 4%, something like that. And the cost of each visit went up 9%. So when I look at this data, for me, the diagnostic is clear. The era of cheap digital growth over. You can't scale anymore by buying more traffic. The brands that win, according to me, are the ones who make every visit count. Does that match on what you are seeing today at Pandora? Where does that force you to focus in the future?
No, absolutely. That resonates for us significantly. I mean, everyone in the world is experiencing this, data point in the last year and beyond. And now it's really a shift about building brand because you're absolutely right. It is every single interaction weighs much heavier than it may have in the past, right? So before you would buy traffic, hope it converted, and off you went. And those days are really over. It is about making that count and building that journey.
And it's even more important now when LLM are going to the game. We started analyzing traffic from AI sources, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, still small,
Yeah.
less than 1% of the traffic today, but growing super fast. And the good news is that it's converting pretty well. The level of intent, the level of engagement is high. But for a brand, it's hard to follow users starting on ChatGPT, then going to a store. For example, if you ask on ChatGPT, what should I buy for an anniversary? If it recommends Pandora, someone will walk at Oxford Circus store and visit your website 3 days later. How does that show up in your numbers today, if it does?
So I think it's still very much a work in progress, but for us, it's how do we build the bridge between, what is that footprint and that identification that we have for the consumer online, and then bridging that into stores. So, I mean, honestly, it's your CDP on steroids, right? How are we going to really make those transactions and interactions count? And that's a bit different than how we're looking at attribution today.
In particular, in your different experiences, you had the opportunity to work on different local markets, and the way to consume, to browse, to buy is very different from one country to another. So we tried to map digital behavior across EMEA, and what came out wasn't markets, it was personalities. Let's look at UK. UK, you follow the rule. Queue patiently, seamless and linear. You are less and less frustrated. Good job, keep on. France, you are the picky one. Even I would say the cheapest. You take a lot to commit. You are very price sensitive. You always compare price. You need 18. We need 18 paid views per session. Oh my gosh. Germany, the efficient converter. Decisive, no nonsense. Conversion rate, 5.8% average, very high. Spain and Italy, no patience, quick to react when things don't work, no patience at all. Is it something you are viewing when you look at Pandora or yourself, maybe, my dear Nicole?
I mean, personalities are pretty accurate, right? I spoke a little bit about the culture being different everywhere when you move between markets and different experiences. So, yes, absolutely. I mean, behavior does shift from one place to another, without a doubt. But now we have the insights, we have the intelligence, and we know a little bit more about what we can expect. So, how do you play into that and choose your markets wisely?
So let's play. You told me you like prediction. I predict we will have a lot of fun right now. And I would like to start to play a game with you, Nicole. And here are the rules, how it will work. There will be a wheel, and before Nicole answers, I want everyone in this room and online to vote on what they think she will say. You can use your bracelet to vote for red, green, or blue. Then Nicole give her real answer. Are you ready to spin the wheel?
I'm
Yes?
ready.
The room, are you ready to spin the wheel? Oh yes, so let's spin the wheel. Celebrity endorsements. Let's see what the question is. Nicole, unlimited budget. When I say unlimited, it's really unlimited budget. One brand partnership. Who do you call? Taylor Swift, red. Rihanna, blue. Jonathan Cherki, green. One of these is much cheaper than the other two, but can dance the Macarena from Pandora.
Okay.
Okay, audience, please vote now. Show your hands.
Oof.
Oh, I see a 46% for Rihanna, 32% for Taylor Swift, and 112% for Jonathan. Nicole, what's the good answer?
You said unlimited budget.
Unlimited budget.
I'm taking all three.
Here we go. Here we go. I like your level of ambition.
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
I mean, blue sky.
Next game. Let's spin the wheel again. Future customer. In 5 years, Nicole, where will the most important Pandora customer experience happen? Is it in store, red? Is it online, blue? Is it through conversation and agent, green? Audience, please vote no. Raise your wrist. I don't see so much red.
Very
Nicole,
interesting.
where will it be?
So, this is a tough question, right? They're all obviously really important, but I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say store. And I'll tell you why. Because I think retail as theater and the experience in store is really changing. And we can't deny that people are becoming more and more hungry for nostalgia. So maybe in 5 years from now, we will really crave that interaction and physical experience. I don't know. We'll find out.
Digital.
Digital. There we are.
Here we go. One more time. One more time. Okay, let's spin which test wand. So for this one, I think you need some context. There is a checkout A/B test. One variant outperforms the other significantly. Which one? And for the context, after replatforming, the team at Pandora saw an increase in people going to checkout. More and more people are going to checkout, but a decrease in conversion. So they ran a test, and you need to vote for which test won. I will give you a clue. The answer is a little counterintuitive. Version A, green, where the team kept the original experience, original CTA with view bag and checkout. Version B, that was more around discovery, where the team removed the checkout call to action completely. My dear public, what do you think? Show me your color. Nicole?
It's a mixed, but they're pretty good.
Yeah. The answer is
B.
A. A or B? B, you are right. The answer is B. Maybe you can tell us why this test performed better and what did it tell you about your customers?
Yeah, so I think we also have some numbers. I mean, they don't lie. 10% increase in add to basket, pretty robust. Checkout completion, all of the data that we have around cart page views. So I think overall, it was a really nice test, but the result is also to say, this is the way we have to keep analyzing the business. This is the way we have to keep learning in real time and to be able to apply that to get to value. So overall, really nice test and a solid result.
I think what it shows is that there are different moments in the lifetime value of the customer. There is one where they need to come and discover the product. There is one where they need to be inspired. And there is a moment where they are ready to buy. And to really understand how to articulate that make a real difference.
Absolutely.
No more spin the wheel for today.
Oh, it was so fun, the wheel.
But we will speak together about the future of customer experience. And I do believe that traditional website homepage are going to change drastically and become more conversational, more AI agent, conversation first, voice, zero-click journey, AI on the fly. AI as a new UX will become the new normal. Do you agree, Nicole? And if you do, what does that mean in terms of investment for Pandora right now?
I tend to agree. I think the reality is that no one has a crystal ball. So we're going to go on this journey and we're going to figure it out like everything else. But there's one thing that I can say for sure that doesn't change, in particular with our investment at Pandora and beyond, and that's really investing in experience. Never did I ever hear someone say, I had such a great experience, I'm never going back. So, what could be more sure and consistent than putting your money into that experience? So we continue to play in that space.
And when we were discussing together, and it's the same kind of discussion I have with a lot of CEOs, it's not just about how you turn experience with more AI is agent, but how you turn your company into an AI-first company. And that is really about AI adoption internally, organization leveraging more AI. Maybe quick words about how you are trying to implement that also internally.
So I think it's really mindset. I mean, you have to get your organization ready. They have to be open-minded and willing to embrace new things, new ways of working, because that's just the reality that we're all living. It's also about investing in education so people can participate in what's coming. It's not just about, the data teams, the e-com teams. It's really about everyone going on the journey together. So the more that you can invest in the education of your population, the more successful you'll be. And then the last, not last, but another really relevant thing for me is about skills and capabilities. And I believe that organizations that map skills and capabilities will be able to leverage them in many different places throughout the organization, as opposed to a much more linear journey that we've seen traditionally um, outside of the context of AI. So, how do you work together? How do you usher in that change management and really build an open minded culture?
And I think as a leader, we have a responsibility to push our team, but also to push ourselves. Recently, we had a good example at Contentsquare where our CFO, Marcella, that is in this room, had to change her chief of staff. And instead of having a new person, decided to create an AI agent with the same first name than the previous chief of staff, endorsing a lot of similar responsibility. And sometimes it's more that the reality that push us, but I really believe that the company who will make a difference are the one who will adopt at scale AI internally. When I created Contentsquare about 10 years ago, I had a dream. My dream was to go from a software as a service model to a site as a service model where everyone will have a personalized experience. One website, one interface per user, per visit, in real time, based on the way people are browsing. And this question of personalization is now becoming closer and closer. When I look at Pandora, you have over 100 million interactions a year that you are collecting with us. Initially, personalization has meant segment, frequent buyer bucket, or lapsed customer buckets. Happy to have your view about how closer we are to real personalization.
I think we have the intelligence to be incredibly close to hyper personalization in real time, right? So one to one. Now, how we get there is still a journey that I think most brands are unpacking. Certainly, we are at Pandora. But what are you going to do with the data? And that's, I always come back to this point. We're pretty 1P rich in general, most companies today, but how are you going to really make it work for you? So is that personalization really valuable? And how can you make it the most, outstanding experience and or solve a problem for your consumer?
100%. Nicole, you told me you love prediction.
I do.
We can't let this room without hearing your prediction and my prediction for the future. We would like to understand how do you imagine the future 3 years from now and have your perspective on it. So let's start by your number one prediction. And the room here is our witness. So we will come back, same place 3 years from now, to see if we are visionary.
Okay. Well, I have a disclaimer because I already said there was no crystal ball, right? So I'm
Who
on
knows?
record.
Who
I'm on
knows?
record. I think, and this is becoming more and more obvious, but agents are really going to act on behalf of customers. So, as like anything else, we become more used to, more comfortable in the space. We will allow more freedoms and more support through agents. So, I think this is really one that I see coming to fruition.
Good. Number two.
Number two, we touched on it a little bit, hyper-personalization, experiences in real time, but becoming the standard journey. So I think we are becoming kings of convenience, right? We are expecting things to be available for us at our fingertips, and it's creating a level of impatience, I think, for people in general. So I believe this will also become part of that journey, personalized, but again, standard.
AI agent, hyper-personalization, and number three.
This one's a little bit, okay, maybe a little controversial, a little out there. But I think intent, being able to, really read the sentiment of the consumer, whether that's from, facial expressions or actually reading text and being able to understand the feeling behind the words. I think we're really moving in a place where intelligence is coming into this horizon. So I wouldn't be surprised if this emotion-aware component starts to become part of predictions and how we recommend next steps, let's say, in the journey.
I love it. I think I prefer much more your prediction than mine. But I will take a risk, a small one. Here are mine, my 3 predictions. I think AI will become the primary interface of the internet. What does it mean? It means that AI will become the new UX. You can imagine that in the near future, you will have UX interfaces designed on the fly based on the way you're both for each of you. And that is now possible thanks to the capabilities of Gen AI. You like the first one, Nicole?
I like it. I mean, we're parallel.
Yeah. Number 2, experience will become the most valuable data sets and assets for a company. And I do believe that for many years, even our customers, they were more focused on leveraging our technology to provide insight and recommendation, to improve the conversion, the bugs, the errors, the content. This is good. But what is even more valuable is how you can leverage this data, how you can connect this data everywhere. And you are owning a data sets that can be game changer if you can properly articulate and connect it. Number 3, the winners. Because there will be winners and losers. The winners will be the ones that understand intent. And I think it's a good parallel with what you are telling about emotion. What does it mean about intent? When someone is browsing, what does it translate? Is it someone that is window shopping? Is it someone that would like to buy quickly? Is it someone that is on the discovery mode? Is it someone that is a loyal customer? All of this intent should translate into action, and your ability to understand all these small signals will make a huge difference. Do you like this one too?
I love this. I'm actually hijacking 2 of yours. I'm into intent and the data set around experience. I mean, I think we're saying the same things. So that's pretty good.
And you know what I think? I think all of that should realize not in 2029, not 3 years from now, but probably a year and a half, as the world is changing drastically. The audience are our witnesses for this prediction. Nicole, a big thank you for your very valuable insights.
With pleasure.
And let me know after this discussion if you would like to discuss the Macarena deal. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you, everyone.